Actually, yeah, let's just get started. So where we last left off, we had just defeated the Lady Boyle. We chose to kill her instead of having her raped by her would-be suitor for all eternity, because I'm humane that way. And now we are going to assassinate the Lord Regent who caused the rat plague in the first place.
Ready to face the Lord Regent? About time we took care of him, I say. Long past time.
I don't know if we'll actually finish Dishonored tonight, but we'll get close. This is going to be pretty close. Unless I really screw up the Flooded District after this.
This is it, Corvo. Your last memories of Dunwall Tower might not be good ones, huh? So maybe you can make up for what happened back then. It'll be a bit of a climb from the waterlogged. Most important thing is killing the Lord Regent. Built himself quite a place at the top of the tower. Calls it his safe room or something.
Hey, Joey.
Crazy if you ask me. Another point of interest while I'm giving you the grand tour, Corvo. Broadcast control station here where all them announcements come from. Might be worth looking into.
So, Samuel talked about his safe room. And if you come into this mission in high chaos, the Lord Regent, who is our target for this mission, starts in that panic room. So you'll have a harder time finding him than you would otherwise. So far, we have kept our violence to a minimum. So we are coming in low chaos. So we're going to have fewer guards than a high chaos run. And we're also going to have slightly harder time getting the non-lethal option. Because of the way the mission is structured, it's paradoxically harder to get the non-lethal option in the low chaos run than the high chaos run. And I'll tell you why once we actually get to it. Okay.
Assassin's going to smell him in the dark. I have a mind to dock you for too much of
Oh, fuck. Oh. Not a great start, but could have been a lot worse. Let's just get on with it. Yeah. Lower on health potions than I like. I still have plenty to work with, but I'd rather have closer to 8 or 9 than 6. So as you can tell, this for the people who watched the first stream, this is the area from the start of the game, the intro sequence. But A, it's at night, and B, there's a lot more guards than there were last time.
Attention Dunwall Tower personnel. All new assignments report directly to the duty office. From here.
This place makes me sad.
What?
What?
Can someone help me?
Well, that was a harrowing escape. Fuck. Okay. Fine, we'll go the long way around. fucking piranha. I guess hagfish, actually, not piranha. Piranha are in the real world. I hate to miss out on that ruin. But I think I have to come back out here later to leave anyway, so I'll just hold off on that. There we go. So, this is the infiltration part. So far, it's gone absolutely smoothly. There have been no problems so far. So, no fights or detections or guards. I am Big Boss. I am Punished Venom Snake.
Your report, General Tobias?
Everything is secure on the grounds, Lord Regent.
It won't hurt to check again. I'm going to head down and retire to my bedroom.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I think it would be best if you stay in your safe room for now.
I need the comfort of my own bed tonight. I trust you and your men can handle the tower security. Double the guard if you have to. Come see me before you finish your rounds.
Yes, as you wish, Lord Regent.
So that's what I mean by
Keep this area secure and use that alarm if there's any sign of trouble. Yes, sir.
in a high chaos room run, he is in his panic room, but in a low chaos run, he feels safe enough to go and sleep in his own bed at night, which makes getting the non-lethal version of his defeat a little bit harder. I don't think he's in the room just yet. I think he actually has to wake his way down here. If he is in the room, I would like to take him... I'd like to knock him out. Get a good view. He's not here yet. So he will be there in due time, but that's fine. I have another location I need to visit first. Okay, I need the broadcast station key.
Stupid rats. Plague. Elixir.
So I need the broadcast station key. There's another place I'd like to go to as well, but I just don't know if it's worth going out of the way for it, because it's mostly just a story thing, not so much for the purpose of the run.
Stupid goddamn.
Sure, I feel the same way, buddy. Let's see if I can get to the secret area. Closer.
You're such a chocolate.
What's that? The area I'm looking for is right through there, so we're gonna, instead of going through the floor like an idiot, we're gonna be smart people and we're going to use the rafters, because nobody ever looks up.
Nobody's making rounds over here.
This way. And this is a secret area. This is the former Empress's panic room that she would come to, or her secret chamber that she would come into and hide in.
No, stupid goddamn.
Emily, my daughter, I know that one day you'll be grown up, and I wonder what you'll remember of these years. Will you recall your time as a child with fondness? Or were there too many caretakers, formal dinners, and lessons about boring old history? Maybe the precious hours we spent together will shine brighter. Time captured now and then with your mother and with Corvo, who was always close to my heart. I hope the season of rats and plague will be nothing more than a passing shadow on your early memories. A crisis come and past, weathered by your mother and her advisors. You'll sit on the throne someday, and will do well, I hope. It's a tricky life, full of responsibility and peril. It was not your choice to be the daughter of an empress, but I believe you'll rise to the challenge.
Well, there's no actual practical gameplay purpose for that room. That is purely a room for story and lore purposes, but I appreciate the touch. I actually didn't know about it until like my second or third playthrough of the game. This should be... Okay, this is the chamber. Oh, this is open now. But I'm gonna have to act quickly if I actually want to get past that pylon.
A citywide
Awesome.
ban on whale oil is now in effect. Citizens are encouraged to bring any whale oil in their possession to the
Yeah,
city
we're being a
watch at
sneaky
once.
sneak. Also, hey,
Anyone
Autistic.
caught burning oil will be subject to arrest. This message is a directive from the Lord Regent himself. We must all trust in the Regent.
So this is who I'm looking for. This is the guy who is the propaganda broadcaster.
Please don't hurt me. You're here to kill the Regent, aren't you? Spare my life, and I can help you beat him. He makes recordings on audiograph, secrets, some that would destroy him if others heard. Played on this amplifier, his confessions would be broadcast throughout the city. He'll be ruined. The audiograph card you want is in a safe in the Lord Regent's room, but I was able to see the combination over his shoulder. 935. Trust me, what's recorded on that card will do the trick. Good luck.
I'm doing well, Autistic. So... As you guys know, Dishonored, every single target has both... you have a number of lethal ways you can kill them. But if you want to beat the game without making a kill, you can still destroy targets non-lethally. Through some devious sense of karmic justice. Now, of course, since in this low chaos run, the war region is right over there. I can really fuck it up. That's what I can do. That's something I can do. I'm definitely fucking it up. Now in high chaos, like I said, the low region's in the panic room, but in low chaos, he's right there. So paradoxically, because I haven't done much killing, it is easier to kill the Lord Regent. Because he considers it relatively safe to sleep inside his own bed. But that makes it hard to get the non-lethal option because the safe that I'm looking for, the safe with the confession I need to broadcast to the world for the non-lethal takedown, is inside that same room. However, if you go lethal most of the time, then the high regent, the Lord Regent, will be in the panic room on the top of the building. He won't actually be in his bedroom. So if you want to kill him, you have to go out of your way to do it in a high chaos run. But paradoxically, if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can do the non-lethal run in high chaos. And since there's no one inside the bedroom, it's pretty easy to do. I don't have ads, so I'm not sure why that's coming up, but okay. That's interesting. I should probably close that door next time. Oh, look, there's gonna be a next time. You can go to bed. I don't really need you. So that takes care of the one threat I really have going against me in this room. And according to the propaganda man, the combo to this safe over here is 9, 3, 5. Maybe some money. A message from Dowd, and more importantly, the Overseer's the Regent's confession. Now, I don't have to kill him. The way I'm going to take care of the Regent to dispose of him and end his influence is just expose him for all the crimes he's committed against the people of Dunwall. And now that I have the confession, all I have to do is broadcast it.
If I explain, then you will see I am not at fault. My poverty eradication plan was meant to bring prosperity to the city, to rid us of those scoundrels who waste their days in filth and drink, without homes or occupations other than to beg for the coin for which the rest of us toil. And it was a simple plan. Bring the disease-bearing rats from the Pandician continent and let them take care of the poor for us. The plan worked perfectly at first, but the rats...
What are you doing?
Undo me. They hid from the catchers and bred at sick rate. Soon it didn't matter. Rich, poor, all were falling sick. And then people began to ask questions. The Empress assigned me to investigate whether the rats had been imported.
Oh, that went weirdly.
So there was no other way than to be rid of her.
But yes, his grandmaster plan was, and I swear to God this is true, to cause the rat plague to end poverty by killing all of the poor people in Dunwall. Why isn't this blink working with me today? Holy shit. This is a very simple mission. I'm not sure why I'm fucking it up so badly today.
What happened? Whacked in the head? Hey, wake up. You hear me? I'll find you, you hagfish. Someone help me out! Get around him!
Can't believe we lost him.
Ha! I know you're somewhere around here. Impossible.
Well, that's one way of getting up here, but who cares? Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I don't have the audiograph with me? Motherfucker. Alright, so... Son of a bitch. That's fine. You know what, just for giggles, we're gonna broadcast him anyway. I'm gonna do the broadcast anyway because I think it's fun. Although now that I've actually made my kill, I don't really have to. Oh my god, this pillar was blocking my blink this whole time. God damn it.
If I explain, then you will see I am not at fault.
I'm not sure I get the reference,
My
autistic.
poverty eradication plan was meant to bring prosperity to the city, to rid us of those scoundrels who waste their days in filth and drink, without homes or occupations other than to beg for the coin.
But yes, his plan was to end poverty by killing all the poor people.
Bring the disease-bearing rats from the Pandician continent.
It's quite the plan. It's a very literal end to poverty, I suppose.
But the rats, it was as if they sought to undo me.
I swore this was okay, there we go. There we go. It's the kind of thing that like only a cartoon villain would think of as a viable master plan. Dishonored, I don't want to be mean because these guys like evidently have a lot they want to say about morality. I just don't know if like if they actually have anything worthwhile to say about morality. Like, the central treatise in Dishonored is don't kill, because killing is wrong and causes chaos. Which is a fine treatise, I suppose. But there are just some of the parts of this world where that mechanically is kind of silly or just doesn't make sense. Chaos really wasn't that well thought out. So I have enough rooms to acquire powers. Oh, I can acquire phase 2 bend time. Yeah, we'll go with that. Especially since the Flood District's coming up, I'm gonna need that power to skip a lot of bullshit. What I have to do right now though is just kind of straddle on out of here. Got to ruin that. Anyways, got to ruin that. My mist on my way in. Make sure the guards here are defeated. Alright, so now Samuel, where are you?
Is it all done? You ready to go back to the Hound Pits?
So what follows is simultaneously some
to
of
you,
the
Corvo.
most predictable
All right,
and
let's go.
unforeshadowed bullshit I've ever seen in the story. Now, as you notice, we're only 6 missions into the game, and we've already defeated the quote-unquote the big bad of the game. So, as you can imagine, we're not done. We still have a bit more game left to go. We're not finished with the game yet. We haven't beaten Dishonored, even though it feels like we should
Big
have.
changes. Makes me uneasy, to tell the truth. A small fry like me always gets the worst of it.
This is where a lot of the
Maybe it's
stuff
going to be
involving
different.
chaos starts to come into play,
Lord
even
Regent's
more
gone.
than in previous
The Abbey
missions.
has a new High Overseer. I'm guessing our work is almost done. The others are in the bar. No doubt waiting to raise a glass in your name. Me, I think I'll just linger out here if you don't.
So I'm going to give you guys
Reflect
points
on
if you can
things
see
while we
what
have a moment.
what the bullshit's going to happen is before
Congratulations, Corvo.
it actually happens. And I'm guaranteeing you most of you are going to get points because it's really easy to predict this. First, let's see if I can buy a thing. I saw a lot of really interesting stuff from E3. The thing that stands out most to me right now is Devil May Cry 5. And the fact that Prey, which is another Arcane Studios joint, is getting a new game plus. But there was a lot of good stuff during those press conferences. A lot worth talking about.
Damn me, he's done it. Word is spreading all over the city. The tyranny
So you
is
ready?
over.
Did you guess
This
correctly?
time tomorrow, Emily will be on the throne. After that, we'll
Did you
clear
figure it
your
out?
name and put everything we've got into rebuilding the city.
If you guessed poison, you're correct.
Most of Dunwall.
If you guessed betrayal, you're correct.
The Admiral's right, I'm afraid. Corvo, you did your job while the rest of us sat on our asses. Our work starts tomorrow.
Tonight, rest easy. Tomorrow, we crown an empress. To Corvo, the man who served to change the course of history.
Now,
Newly called, and the new dawn rising for Dunwall and the Empire.
Now, if you go and start reading,
Court protocol and cosmology, of course. You provide
if you read the audio logs that are left by Havelock and Pendleton, you'll see this coming a mile away.
She trusts me.
It's true, she does.
They kind of express to say they're going to try to poison and kill Corvo at the end of this because Corvo has gotten too influential, and he's in Emily's ear a bit too much. But unless you got those notes, then there is no foreshadowing up to this whatsoever. It just kind of happens as a part of the story. Like, oh, okay, we're friends, and all of a sudden we're not. But simultaneously, even though like there's no foreshadowing whatsoever, the moment you rate that glass touches your hand, you know instantly just what's gonna happen. Like, it's predictable. You know exactly how it's gonna go down, like almost beat for beat. But I've never liked this twist. I think it's really it's kind of bullshit and comes out of left field. But that's kind of a lot of shit in Dishonored 1, honestly. Like, Dishonored 1's story was not particularly great, and had a lot of problems. Like, this is one of my problems. I'd say Label is another one of my problems, and here is the part where we get betrayed. The poison lasts until just until you, like, it doesn't take effect until right after you pass that threshold.
Samuel, you move like you've been drinking. Did the poison work its magic? Is he dead?
It better have worked. It cost me a month's profit.
Yes, sir. I believe Corvo has breathed his last. Just as you wanted.
You've done a fine job.
Remember, we need the body. If we come forward with the corpse of the man who murdered the Empress, we'll be greeted as heroes.
Yes, it'll grant us legitimacy. We'll be the men who rescued Emily and brought down the Lord Regent and his assassin. You'll see to the body, won't you, Samuel?
Yes, sir.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm sorry something terrible, Corvo. But I only gave you half the poison. They were watching me, and it was all I could think to do. I think you're strong enough to survive that. I'll put you on a raft, and then I've got to ship out myself before they find out I've gone against their wishes. Snakes. They'll want to do the same to me as soon as I've outlived my uses. Hopefully you'll wake up and find your way out of this cursed city.
So this scene changes depending on whether or not you were in high chaos or low chaos. A low chaos Samuel is what we saw just now. In high chaos, Samuel's like, man, you're a fucking asshole. Unfortunately, I need you to beat these other assholes. So I guess I had to spare your life, even though I don't think you deserve to live. Effectively the same thing, but there's a difference is in tone. And so we're going off to the Flooded District for some of the... probably one of the most interesting missions in the entire game. And one of the most interesting targets in the entire game, because there's so many ways this particular assassination can go down.
The Empress when she died. Poisoned. Tibian stuff. Amateur work. He'll live. That's up to Dowd.
So these are the Whalers. They are Dowd's assassin faction. And this is very Bioshocky in terms of morality. That's not exactly far off. It's not as like the threshold is not severe as in Bioshock, but it's definitely there. So this is the faction that the Rural Region hired to kill the Empress, and Dowd, the Knife of Dunwall, the person who murdered the Empress, is the leader of this faction. He will actually end up being our target for this mission.
I know a great deal, bodyguard. I recognize those marks on your hand. A gift from your friend. The one who talks to you in the dark. Talks to you when you visit his shrines. I visited those shrines too. And I know what it felt like to shove a blade into your Empress. But I don't know you. Who you are, and who you fight for. You're a mystery. And I can't allow that.
And so we are back here to talk to... and by the way, Dowd is voiced by Michael Madsen, so if you recognize his voice actor, that is Michael Madsen.
Here you
real
are
deal.
At last, in a ruined and drowning world, held captive by the man who killed your Empress, the assassin Dowd. Your friends poisoned you and dumped your body in the river. Did they do it to protect themselves, so no one would ever know what they'd done? Or was it because they were a single move away from controlling an empire, and they knew you'd never let them manipulate Emily? Maybe none of these. Perhaps that's just the nature of man.
Yeah, I know him. I know Michael Madsen from Kill Bill, but I think he was also in Reservoir Dogs. I could be making that up, though. I'm not entirely sure. So we are imprisoned by Dowd and his Whalers. And our goal is primarily to make it out of the Flood District. Unfortunately, the only exit is locked by a key that is possessed by Dowd. So we must address him. We must confront him at least once before we can leave. And your chaos when it comes to this particular encounter actually matters a great deal. There are a number of ways you can go down depending on how stealthy you are in this mission and how much chaos you have coming in. Since we're on the low chaos path, we're going to get the best possible solution. Now, conveniently, one of Dowd's assassins left a sword, which we can use. We have a side objective to recover our old belongings that were... Let me see if I have my bone charm still. Okay, I have my bone charm still, so that's fine. But we have a submission to retrieve our stolen equipment, including our old sword and our health and mana potions and all the tools we had in our belt. I'll be attempting that mission as a part of this run, but you don't have to do it. You can actually go through the rest of the game with this assassin sword I have in my hand and not even bother getting your old shit. It's not important at all. But what is important is that we get out of the flooded district and go back to confront the people who betrayed us. You want to stay out of the water as long as you possibly can because the hagfish will eat you up if you are in the water. And that is where this level 2 blink will come in handy. Memory serves. My equipment is on the left side. Oh shit! River crusts. Yeah, river crusts are they're plants that will kill you. Yeah, the river crust will kill you by spewing a bunch of ranged projectiles at you. Fucking stay down! So my items are over this way. Here in the refinery. What I really honestly want is I want to get my pistols to make the river crust a bit more manageable. I'm not terribly concerned about the Weepers. They're pretty easy to take down. There's a ruin over there and a bone charm up there. I might ignore the rune because I have all the powers I honestly need for the rest of the game. I don't make a whole lot of use of possession in my normal runs. I use mostly blink and agility with a bit of time stop. So, as you remember, Dowd tossed my equipment into this refinery here. But the only way inside is through that balcony over there. So I have to make my way up there so I can get inwards. And potentially get my equipment back. I think I made a mistake. Fuck. Okay. That could be better. Could be worse. Alright. This is progress. Making steady progress upwards. And again, I stress, this part of the mission is entirely optional. You are under no obligation to get your old equipment. It just makes it easier because you have all that stuff that you've bought and upgraded over the course of the game. If you're lazy or if you're in a hurry, you can just go and finish the game without getting any of this. But since I value the items I acquired, I am going to go try to retrieve them. Oh, okay, this way.
Why would you come back here?
Hard to say, but we should watch the streets. We'll see him from the rooftops.
All right. If nothing else, you can cut him off at the market.
We can't get through the rail station without the key.
This one is resourceful. You'll find a way.
All right. I am definitely a resourceful one. I need some whale oil. There's a dispenser. Let me get a tank. I remember my first run taking an embarrassing long time to realize that I could just smash that with my sword. How am I gonna get in there? And then I gotta just smash with my sword, like, oh, that's how. That's pretty easy, actually. We're gonna get some materials first. And here's another kind of karmic payback that we're going to witness when we get down here. I want to leave a surprise until after it's revealed. I think you guys are going to be really intrigued by it. If you've been watching these streams since day one. If you haven't, welcome. Oh, bye! You're probably dead. Sorry! See if there's anything over here. And we'll start making our way down. Oh, he should be here. Yeah, there you are. That is the target that I non-lethally took out from Mission 2. That is High Overseer Campbell, who I branded with the Heretic's brand and prevented him from ever getting any help from anybody ever again. So he became a Weeper in the time between Mission 2 and now. It's kind of like a karmic justice for what he did to everyone else. And aside from that, here's also my weapon box. Now I have my complete equipment set from 4. And this should help me greatly in getting both out of the Flood District and into the rest of the game. Now we just gotta get out of this refinery and back down to ground level. There we are. Easy as pie. Potion is T. And now that we have our equipment, we're just gonna head back to the main mission. And once we actually encounter Dowd, that's where a lot of the chaos stuff becomes incredibly fascinating. And it's kind of part of why I really appreciate this game so much, is for some of the stuff it does, especially towards the end. Even though the actual like story betrayal is kind of trash and pretty dumb. There's actually some really interesting stuff here in terms of mechanics with the chaos system. Oh my god. Yeah, and those rubber cuts are part of why I wanted my pistol back so badly, because having the ability to just shoot them dead. Oh really? I come into BioShock well after everyone else did, so I already knew about the twist well before I actually played it. So I don't know how predictable it wasn't, because I already knew about it. Because I didn't have an Xbox 360 at the time. I only had a PS3, so I waited till it came out on the PS3 before I actually played it. But here is where things start to get a lot more interesting. Yeah, it's honestly in here, at least in BioShock, there was this thematic, do you have choice or not in this video game kind of thing going. But in this Dishonored, the twist is just like, this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't add anything thematically to the game. I guess if you want, like, there's like this theme that power corrupts, but then like if you're low chaos, I guess it doesn't corrupt. It's so nothing. It's a nothing twist. It doesn't add anything. It's just kind of there. Oh, bye. Oh, fuck me. Bend time. There we go. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the BioShock 2 twist. Okay. Yeah, I also played System Shock 2 like about like years after it became like the thing that had the cool twist. So, I played that and know what you're referring to. It's just I can't really gauge how predictable they were because I already knew about them before I played those games. Like, those twists were actually part of why I went out back and played those games.
Not riverbound. And Dowd holds the key to the tunnel and is asked not to be disturbed. Is that it? Correct. This prisoner we took. The bodyguard who was with the Empress seems to trouble him greatly.
Yes. I feel that we've reached a turning point tonight.
Yes. Good luck on your assignment when you're permitted to leave.
So no one in this area is allowed to leave because the only exit is protected by a key that's in Dowd's possession. And this is why I wanted Ben time, because this technique is really fucking useful. Got a bit too greedy though. Got a bit too greedy. But that's why I auto-saved. Or why I quick saved. There we go. Yeah, I was not a fan of Infinite. I thought Infinite was pretty bad. The Bioshock 2 twist had the problem where it was trying too hard to be Bioshock 1 and just failed in every possible level. But I was not a fan of Infinite for a whole variety of reasons. It was just not a great experience. There we go. I want to try to keep bloodshed to a minimum if I can.
For your next trial, you must move unseen. Stay in shadow and avoid the light. Cross to the other side of the room without attracting notice.
So this is a cool little reference. This is in lore, Dowd teaching his disciples how to use his powers, because Dowd can actually transmute a minor version of his powers to all people who are loyal to him. But the dialogue from this scene is identical to the tutorial from Thief: The Dark Project. So this is a reference to that video game. Which is another one of those really ancient 451 games in the vein of the Shocks and Deus Ex and Thief and this. In fact, you could argue that Thief is the progenitor of the kind of other style of 451 game that Dishonored is now.
You know the layout of the room. Instead, focus on where you wish.
So this is a really interesting reference just to the legacy of this type of game, particularly Dishonored's place in that legacy.
Return to your place of rest. Your real work with us begins tomorrow night.
This dialogue is a point-for-point recreation of that tutorial dialogue, and it's really, really cool. I really like this reference. But I'm also going to strangle the shit out of you because I can't have you see me. This game doesn't rely on shadow, light and shadow, as much as Thief does. Like most of Thief's central gimmick is that if you're in shadow, you're almost completely invisible. But in terms of the movement and mechanics, a lot of it is taken straight out of Thief.
Master, forgive me, but we can't seem to stop him. He's crossed secure perimeters almost at will. It's more than possible he's nearby. We've What are your orders?
Orders remain the same, but I suspect it won't matter. I know where he's going. He will come to me. He'll have to.
So hopefully I get the ideal ending for Dowd. The one that I really like the most. Be the one I'm going for anyway.
So he's dead. Farewell, Lord Regent. Royal Spy Master. Hiram Burroughs. You small, worried man. You'll never know how many times I've thought about trying to get close to you again. Just to put a piece of sharp metal in your eye. But someone beat me to it. Someone very dangerous, it seems. Good riddance to you, sir. So many schemes you had, and so many contracts. How many people did I kill for you? None like the last. None like her. I'd give back all the coin if I could.
So there are several ways that this encounter can go down. If Dowd sees you, he will fight you. If you are in low chaos, Dowd will order his men to stand down and fight you in a one-on-one duel. And if you win, you can decide to spare him or kill him. The same happens in High Chaos, except because he's convinced that you're an even bigger threat than the High Regent was, the Lord Regent was, because you are a filthy murderer who's killed a lot of people in High Chaos Run. He will order his men to join the fray. Unlike the Low Chaos Run, where he's willing to be honorable and defeat you one-on-one, in High Chaos he absolutely does not. He can't stand you and wants you to die a horrible death. But depending that's only one way this can go down. The other way, I still need his key. I thought I had his key. I just knocked him out. What the hell? The other way this can go down is the way I just did, where you knock him out and just steal the key from him. And the way the game does that says you sent Dowd a message that you are not to be trifled with. And that you could kill him anytime you wanted to, but instead you chopped it to spare his life today. And I think that's probably one of my favorite ways to end this, is to just hold his life in your hands and decline to take it. For me, people were telling Infinite is a good gamer, so I was pretty when I went to play. I was very disappointed with the reasons the gameplay. Yeah, gameplay is one of the reasons. Like, BioShock felt like a much more muted shock game than some of the others. There wasn't a whole lot to it. It was kind of... It felt more like a... I hate this phrase, but more like a bro shooter. And I hate that phrase. Like, I feel that's very unnecessarily judgmental. But I guess, well, not even BioShock was less an RPG and more of a shooter. It went in that direction in a way that I felt was a bit too far. I wasn't happy with the way BioShock was transformed into like this shooter RPG hybrid into just almost like a straight up shooter. But I've kind of made my peace with that. I just don't really care anymore about BioShock Infinite or basically anything Halo has to make in the future. It's clear that he doesn't want to make the games that I want him to make, and that's fine. It's just I've got to be more aware of that. And now that we've defeated Dowd, and what is frankly one of the most interesting moral choices in the game is, do you spare or kill the person who killed the Empress, even though he was just a tool and not really the one that wanted her dead? And I almost always choose to spare him because Dowd tends to be one of the more morally upstanding of your targets, despite being a literal killer, a literal assassin. He tends to have more moral fiber than like the other targets, which says a lot about the other targets that you get in this game, because they're all really irredeemable bastards, except for perhaps Lady Boyle.
See anything? I must be in a basement. There's no hospital.
But I find him to be one of the most interesting characters in the game, and that's why the next DLC, which which you play as him, you play as Dowd in the Knife of Dunwall, the DLC for this game, is so interesting.
Right out of here. Oh.
These are all anonymous dudes, so they don't care about us, even though we're in a fucking death mask, like a fucking Grim Reaper mask. So now that we've escaped Fledgers, now our objective is to make our way back to the Hound's Pit pub to deal with the people who tried to kill us. But and as far as Infinite goes, I'm not a fan. Like I don't think the moral message it was sending was a particularly interesting one. I don't think it played particularly well. I just don't think it was a good game. It's playable. It's fine, but there's nothing that particularly stands out about it that it's pedigree. Its pedigree is all it really has going for it. And Ken Levine, I don't think he's the designer that like he's not designing the games that I kind of want or expect from him.
Are you some new kind of guard? Like a tall boy? Can't be. Doctor, maybe? Just kidding. Assassin, maybe. Passing through, huh? Hoping to catch a ride on the plague wagon. A few come through here trying. And they fall and break their necks. But that won't stop you. You're almost there. It's pretty easy to get to the rooftops from here. You'll see the way.
Quite possible. So, the nice lady informed us that if we go through the roof, we'll probably be able to just ride the train back to Dunwall. So we're going to listen to the nice lady. And make our way back to Dunwall via train. Now there is an arc pylon or a arc gate just before we convince the arc, so we're going to actually stop right here. Because if we cross that threshold, we will die. And that's what we're going to remove this whale oil for. Now we can pass this way and go into the Old Port District, which is connected to the Hound's Pits pub. Now we're still in mission 7. We haven't actually gotten a new mission yet. We're still trying to get back to the Hound's Pits pub. But this is like the second half of that mission. Outsider walks among us. That certainly sounds ominous. Or it would if I didn't know what the outsider looked like. There was speculation that the outsider might be like this ancient whale god, but Death the Outsider actually just confirms flat out what his backstory is from the beginning, so it kind of demystifies it a bit. And if we actually get to the point where we're playing that on stream, I'll gladly get into his backstory there. So now we're in the old Dunwall sewers, and our objective is still at this point to get back to the Houndspits pub so that we can confront Havelock, Pendleton, and Martin so that we can get revenge for what they did to us. Yes, I sound really excited about getting revenge, I know. It's just a job. In all sincerity, like, as dumb as the story is, this is the part where the chaos starts coming into play, and therefore it does become almost by default the most interesting part of the game. It's just, even though it's the most interesting part of the game, like the chaos system itself is kind of weirdly broken, so it just doesn't feel as impactful as it probably should be, given that this is almost the end of the game, that we are 2 missions away from actually beating the entire game. If you explore Dishonored thoroughly, it's a very long game, but if you just want to beat it, it's very short. You can beat it in not that long at all. Like, this is probably the third of our 2-hour streams, and I didn't drum this one time, so I got that really fucked up. That's fine though. That's fine. There's an autosave that probably just occurred. You know what? Let's have grenades. Let's use some grenades. I don't care if that made noise. I just want those river crusts to die. Yeah, that seems like that's not going to actually attack me, so I'm going to just leave it alone. Alright, this is nowhere, so you got to keep going down. We're gonna get revenge with a vengeance. I think I went to the wrong hole. There, clear that problem. Oh, this might actually be the way. That's not the way. For Christ's sake, I think I might actually be lost. Jump! Why aren't you jumping? Missed the exit over here. Yeah, this must be the way. I don't see where else I was supposed to go. Oh. I'm blind. Mission complete. Still in low chaos.
Please, no. Oh, it's you, Corvo. Thank the stars. We all thought you'd been killed, except for Samuel. He seemed sure you'd survived. I saw him on the river shortly before the killing began. He was smart enough not to come ashore, but I'll bet he's still out there. Looking for you is my guess. At first, Pendleton said it was time for our bonus. Havelock stood behind them, and at the signal, he shot them each in the back of the head. Just like the target drills he used to. Lydia barely had time to scream. I would be dead too. Except Wallace told me I wouldn't be getting anything. Pendleton kept apologizing, saying that no one could ever know about the things they'd done. Martin was drinking and seemed sad. The Admiral was about to shoot Callista. Then he mumbled something about owing her uncle, Captain Kurnow, a debt. They said it was time for Sokolov, and went off to his cage. I don't know what happened after that. Emily was there when the killing started. Poor child. I hope she hid her eyes. The Admiral said that Martin was right. I guess they talked about it. And they started to worry they'd get executed for all that they'd done, going after the Lord Regent and his allies. I suppose it's why they've poisoned you too.
So, if you talk to Cecilia a lot in the Hound's Pits pub, she does give you the key to this place, so you can actually know about it well before this point. But if you're like me and just play through the missions a lot your first time through and didn't really explore the Hound's Pits pub a lot, you missed this detail, and this area won't be revealed to you until after you've already gotten to this point in the game.
I was only a kid at the last one. You didn't make it to Will you look at this mess?
Relax. One of the officers said he was dead.
Poison thrown in the river.
If you ask me, he's long gone. And the mask in the river.
Things are bad. Could the city get any worse?
So our objective now is to find a way to signal Samuel and figure out where Emily is located. And we have some side objectives that we'll get to when we get to them. Actually, no, let's just get to them now. I think, if I remember correctly, Piero and Sokolov are hiding in Piero's workshop. The door is locked, so no one can get in.
It's refreshing to converse with someone.
I couldn't agree more. Your expulsion from the Academy was a crime against natural philosophy itself.
Which you might have pointed out at the time. But it's pointless to hold a grudge. I want to ask you...
That's okay.
Corvo, good to see that you still breathe.
So it turns out even though they hate each other, they're buddy-buddies now.
If you are not with us. I've completed Piero's work on an arc pylon, but only just.
With this device, we can send a powerful electrical signal through the nervous system, merely rendering our enemies unconscious, or they can be reduced to
This is such a
ashes.
stupid
I've
choice.
attuned it so that we will be safe from the functions of the device. It will only trigger in the presence of our enemies. This arc pylon is more
So if you want to explore the level freely, you can complete this objective, and when you do, you'll get the option to either knock out every enemy in the level automatically, or murder them all, flat out. And if you're low chaos, you're going to obviously pick knocking them all out. And if you're high chaos, you're obviously going to pick turn them into ashes. So this is kind of one of those silly, like, binary, as Twistic like to say, Bioshock choices, where your decision was locked in well before you actually got the choice.
Without the arc pylon, it is only a matter of time before they put an end to us.
And what you do is if you do this, you save them, and in the ending they'll have developed a cure to the plague. So, oh, okay, I remember now. I actually had to go and get the oil from them in their workshop, because Piero has a very convenient whale oil dispenser and a whale oil canister dispenser right in his workshop, so you can just use that to So where is... Wait, so where the fuck is the shield release switch if that's inoperable? How do I turn this? How do I make this operable? Oh, okay, I had to retrieve the blueprint first. Okay. Forgot about that part. I know where Havelock's room is, so I can just get down there and get it. This is a weird music for this objective in this point in the game. That's weird.
Why is no one making rounds over here? This better not be a joke. What? Why is no one making rounds over here? Rouse yourself. Wake up!
Bye. There we go. We got the blueprint. Now we can get back to Piero. And automatically knock out the entire group of guards in this whole level in one blow. I actually do like the idea of like taking the level that you've gone to as your home base for the entire game and then turning it into a hostile area. Like I really like that. That's a pretty cool idea, and it's something that you see a lot in games, but you see it because it works. Because it shatters your sense of normalcy in the world. Which is exactly what you want something like this to do.
Astonishing.
It's really cool when you
pylon is
when you can't come home again, so to speak.
How to activate it?
With this device, we can send a powerful electrical signal through the nervous system, merely rendering our enemies unconscious, or they can be reduced to ashes.
What is your opinion, Corvo?
Obviously, we should put them all to sleep.
As you wish, Corvo. We will be far away before any of them regain their senses. All is ready, Corvo. All that remains is plugging in a whale oil tank to power it. Will you do the honors?
I mean, since I already have one up there, sure. Let's just do it.
Charged. No one will dare come near us.
Let's do it. Let's use the super awesome move of super awesomeness. Now it's operable. Too late, fucker. Too late, fuckers.
Amazing. Simply amazing. It functioned beyond my greatest expectations. It defies description. A device like this will ensure Dunwall's security for a century. We once discussed a system of signals to be used in Emily's tower for communication across the river. I wonder if he remembers that.
Well, Corvo, I hope we can be considered colleagues again. You were condemned, I was kidnapped. Men like us rise above such things.
Okay, now make something. Thank you.
Do what you want, but ask quickly.
Thank you. Now let's see what you can sell me. It's my last chance to use this coin, so I might as well just spend it all. Let's see if Just stock up on ammo. Yeah, okay. That's plenty.
Minded intention. Same with Martin, and maybe even...
Alright, so now we know where Emily is gone. Going to King Sparrow Island where Havelock and all them took her. And we have a way to signal Samuel here in Callista's tower.
Corvo, I can't believe you're alive. They killed everyone, Corvo. They killed everyone to cover it all up. Then
Man, her delivery is so
I
flat!
do anything to protect her. Please find her. Make her safe. All his talk was being an honorable military man, but Havelock will use Emily like a puppet to his own advantage. Something changed in the Admiral as soon as the Lord Regent died. It had been building up. Martin was acting strange, going quiet if any of us were near, whispering late into the night with Havelock and Pendleton while you were out doing the real work. I think they realized they were one step away from holding the same position the Lord Regent had, and worried they'd be held accountable for what they did here, as the Loyalists. They would have killed me too, but
This
Havelock
game
spared
has the
me.
same problem a lot of games
Out of respect
do,
for my uncle, I believe.
where they
Please,
are
talk
telling
to
me
Samuel
this,
and the others. Someone must know where
but
they're
not
going.
showing me
Find
this. Like,
Emily. She's suffered through so
as I said
much,
before,
and
if
she's
you
got no
go
one else
through
on
the
her side
audio
except
logs,
you. Samuel said this here
while,
in case you returned. You can use it to call him. He
if...
said he'd come quick.
Shut up. If you go through the audio logs as the game progresses, you'll get that. But nowhere in the main story do they actually demonstrate Havelock or Pendleton or Martin scheming behind your back. Or at least pretending or trying to scheme behind your back and getting caught. It's just something that happens, and then like you play the game, and like you're told that it happened. And that's probably like my biggest problem with Dishonored, is that like all of the story happens almost entirely in the background. Like you're out doing all your assassination, getting the work, the quote unquote the work done, and you are getting the work done. But the actual story, the machinations, the intrigue, and all of that is happening in a place where you just can't see it. And that really bothers me. That's not a great way to tell a story.
You, does it? I saw the signal. I knew you'd be back, Corvo. I knew it. We'll need to get out of here soon.
I mean, I love the way this game plays, and I love the kind of choose your own approach style that Arcane has become like known for with this and with Prey.
Havelock senses that it's all about to fall down around him.
But
who knows what he's liable to do?
The writing really needs some work. It feels like everything that's interesting is going on without you in the background. Or it's going on so fast that the game doesn't linger enough for you to actually appreciate it. Like with the SF versus death in the beginning. Like it happens in 30 seconds. Like almost 2 minutes from the game start, the Empress is dead. And you had no attachment to her. You don't even know who the hell she is. And you're just assumed to be in the position of Corvo where you're grieving over her. And I wasn't. And I never was.
There's one more trip across the river to where it meets the sea. That's where the Lord Regent was building his new lighthouse. Ought to be something to see.
But, I mean, I've played this game for 5 times now because I like it. I wouldn't play a game 5 times if I hated it. It's a good game. It's one of my favorites. It's just, as someone who likes it, I have to acknowledge the problems inherent to it.
This is it, sir. I suspect
you'll find out like a lot of games that are as broken as Dishonored, and they're some of my favorite games of all time. Sam will tell you all about that, I'm sure. Zero Asher in the chat.
Anybody going in has to breach the fort, the gatehouse, and there's only one way to the top. All I can say is that it's been a pleasure serving with you. Maybe after all this is settled, we'll see each other again.
So this mission is entirely different depending on whether you were low or high chaos.
If anyone deserves it,
the same map, but the actual mission itself is very radically different.
Best to Emily. After she's on the throne, she won't have time for an old man like me.
And as of this moment, Samuel is no longer a required character, so you can kill him. But at this point, we are locked into low chaos. We are getting the low chaos ending of this game guaranteed. And if you play this mission high chaos, there is a massive thunderstorm going on right now. Since we're playing low chaos, it's clear as day. But in high chaos, there is a giant thunderstorm going on, and a lot of the individual scenes in this mission are different depending on what the chaos is. And we'll get to that as I cross those thresholds. I remember the way I actually.
Emily.
I guess you got spared by the fact that I died. So there's yeah, that's not a helpful map at all. That is an unhelpful map, actually.
Like me. I knew you were sharp, Corvo. But somehow you managed to get through all this mess without losing sight of what really matters.
Yeah, you didn't kill anyone, player. You're so cool. You're so fucking cool. You didn't kill anyone. So fucking cool. I love how cool you are, player. You're so fucking cool. I masturbate to you, player. How fucking cool you are for not killing anybody. That's all I hear. Let's shut this off.
Probably rats into everything.
All right, making progress.
Huh? What the? Guards, get to me! Sight from your ammo. Assassins, help! Damn it! Someone's down. Take out his left eye. Flank him. Guards, to me! Die, idiot!
How many guards do you have? Well, shit. That was a hell of an exit. And this is why I play stealthily. Because going in loud tends to result in a high body count. Let's instead possess this rat. Wait, the first time I've actually used possession on camera, but we're going to use it to sneak into the compound through the vent. Don't need the key because I can just crawl over into the next area of the map.
Any chance you'll share your food with me tonight?
I don't need shit.
Huh? Ah. Hit the alarm! Get around him!
Alright,
Might be
now...
worth checking out. Heard so.
Well, I forgot about the arc pylon. or the arc on the wall. The wall of light, that's what they're called. So I've got to be a bit more careful. I think the guards might actually infinitely respawn in this map. And as a result, they don't count towards your chaos because you don't actually kill them.
Is she up there, do you think? The new Empress?
She came in a few days ago. She keeps to herself. Must be a shock.
I wonder what she's like.
Just a kid, I guess.
Imagine being a kid.
Alright. Let's keep going. Advance. So all right, so
we'll meet again.
We got past part 1. And if we were playing in High Chaos, Pendleton would be down there past that gate, taunting us until we unlocked it, at which point he would fight us. Him and Martin would actually fight each other, and then they would blame me for how much of an asshole I was and how I ruined everything in High Chaos. I might actually... maybe if I finish this game early, I might show off the High Chaos version of this island on YouTube or something, just to let people know what it's like. Because it's a very different scene, and it's just as you encounter each one of them, like clearly they've gone mad from the fact that they've had to do so much heinous shit just to. Or they've been complicit in such heinous shit since the beginning. Whereas a low chaos Corvo, it's their paranoia that does them in the end. On the fact that they are not sure why he's so merciful, and they suspect that he has some ulterior motive for doing what he's doing. That's what ends up doing them in. Their paranoia, and I'll show off the paranoia aspects later. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna sometimes just show the High Chaos run and like I'll just look for a YouTube video of it, and we'll just talk about it. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if that's kosher for Twitch in terms of violations, but if it isn't, oh well. I'll just have to deal with it. And I'm not monetizing this, so I don't really care what the Twitch rules are. I'm not influential enough to monetize this, you see. I'm not a Twitch affiliate yet, unlike my friends Sam and Joey in the chat here. Yet. I emphasize the yet in that. But yeah, you see, like, if you're in High Chaos, the whole level is different, and they fall victim to infighting. Whereas it's a lot more subtle and a lot more inconspicuous here in the low chaos run of it. You ain't taking a piss.
I know you're here. Someone get over here.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
We're not taking this one. I need.
That's fine. So, this is the Lord Regent's like extra safe hideaway that he planned to ensconce off to, or escape off to.
Talents wasted until he found his fate. This is all Martin's fault. We hadn't helped Corvo get out of prison. Corvo hadn't been so damn good at his job. We hadn't gotten greedy, afraid.
So as you can see, in the low chaos ending,
Never hesitated.
Havelock
Too sure
has
what I want.
poisoned
Too sure
Martin
what I wanted
and
to do
Pendleton,
when other men stopped to consider.
and is now not sure of himself. He's unsure. He's paranoid. He's scared because he knows I'm coming for him.
For the others. Crossing the island below like it was nothing. It's only a question of how and when. I'm lacking accounting.
I just wish they didn't have to explicitly say what he was thinking. I wish the rant would be a bit more subtle.
When I was young, I went to sea.
But
took command
that's
of
fine.
ship and made aimless men into slaves. Made a. Did you think I'd fight you, Corvo? Sorry to disappoint. This is yours. The key to Emily's cell. She'll be glad to see you. You made quite an impression on her. Did you know that? She asked about you constantly. Where you were, what you've been doing.
I could kill him right now.
In the end, I told her everything.
But
From the
watch
start,
for this
when we
shit.
had such noble goals in mind. To the end, when we were afraid, fighting in secrecy about who we could trust and who we had to kill. Arguing over who would act as new Lord Regent. And she listened, eyes wide. She's become an interesting girl. If she lives, she'll make a memorable empress.
Now watch what happens when I take this key. Yeah, he doesn't attack you until you take the key, at which point he decides he wants to kill you off. So it's like his gambit going, that's his last gambit is going, hey man, I give up, I surrender, and then once you let your guard down, he'll kill you then. But I've played through this game enough times, and I know where that goes, so.
Who is that? Admiral Havelock?
Sucks to be him.
If you don't let me out... Corvo! I knew you'd come.
And Emily is
Is
free.
it going to be okay now? Will I be Empress?
The game is over. In the high chaos version, which I'll show you after this, Havelock and Emily are at the top of the tower, and Havelock threatens to throw himself and Emily off the tower if you go any closer, and you can kill him. You can well, you're gonna kill him for sure, but the question is whether or not you save Emily in doing so. And there's a bad ending where Emily becomes an evil person because she's watched you murder people, and she's like, man, murder seems to work, so let's just keep on with that. There's an even worse ending where you don't save Emily and she also dies, and so it's just there is no Empress. The entire island is in disarray. You screwed everything up because you're a fucking heartless, murderous bastard. But we got the good ending, so that looks a bit like this.
So ends the interregnum, and now Emily Caldwin the First will take her mother's throne after a season of turmoil. You will stand at her side, Corvo, guiding her young mind and protecting her from those who seek to exploit her or cause her harm. You watched and listened when other men would have shouted in rage. You held back instead of striking. So it is, with the passing of the plague and Emily's ascension, comes a golden age, brought about by your hand.
Until the sequel of the game, of course. Everything's right until the sequel happens. And there's Samuel in the bar having fun with some friends, and Corvo in the background with his mask off.
Decades hence, when your hair turns white and you pass from this world, Empress Emily, Emily the Wise, at the height of her power, will lay your body down within her mother's great tomb, because you are more to her than royal protector. Farewell, Corvo.
And that is Dishonored 1. When the credits finish rolling, I will show the high credits, and do spend plenty of time to do that. I didn't actually expect to finish the game today, but I'm glad I did. The next time we have one of these Dishonored streams, whenever I decide to have one, we will continue with the DLC, the Knife of Dunwall, and then the Breedmore Witches after that. And I do plan to go through 2 in the Death of the Outsider as well, and I have some plans after that, but nothing set in stone. Because I really do enjoy the series. I have enjoyed all of the games of Dishonored, and I think I really want to share it with you guys and with the people on my YouTube channel. And the DLC is where they started getting into what makes Dishonored really good. Here you can see the beginnings of Dishonored. It's a solid start to the franchise, but what they did with it afterwards is where they really started to get into some of the more interesting parts of the series. Like, one of the biggest weaknesses with Dishonored 1 is the lack of non-lethal melee options or stealth options. If you're playing non-lethal, you basically can't use straight wires or spring wires. You can't use grenades. You can't barely use your gun or your crossbow. Like, the only things you have access to are really your sword, your powers, and only a couple of them. Like, you can't use Wind Blast or Devouring Swarm at all, and you can only use your Sleep Darts. So your tool set for an non-lethal playthrough is extremely limited. They'll probably really start addressing in Dishonored, the DLCs, and in Dishonored 2 and onward. Because back when this game was made, they didn't really have a vision for doing a non-lethal gameplay. That's something that was kind of tacked on to the game after the fact. And that's something you can see, like, with the Lord Regent's non-lethal option, like, that looks very clearly tacked on. It's just kind of like this sub-branch of the entire level where you can just go, oh, hey, here's a non-lethal option. Here you can just tell everyone the Regent's a loyal bastard, and you can just kill him there. But Dishonored 1 really lacks for those kinds of options in non-lethal gameplay. Just a very limited dual set, which they fixed in the DLC, and then they carried that over into Dishonored 2 with some really, really powerful gameplay improvements. And with Evelyn Lee's power set, which was so much different than Corvo's and so much better than Corvo's. So while I am glad I showed this off, I'm even more eager to get into the DLC of this game and into the sequels of Dishonored, because that to me is where Dishonored really started hitting it off. And Death of the Outsider is especially where it cemented its place, and where it kind of started getting comfortable with it in its own skin. And I really hope they continue this franchise. I hear it's not selling particularly well, which kind of, which I don't really, that makes me a little nervous, because I do want to see this continue. I like to see Arcane's games and their output. Not for everybody, but they fit in the kind of mold that I want them to fit in. And they're really solid games, and I look forward to playing through the Knife of Dunwall and Breedmore Witches and 2 and Death of the Outsider. And I might even do some other of games in this vein as like my main thing for the channel, but I'm just gonna, this ends up just being basically up to whatever I want in the end. I don't really have any particular niche I want to fill, or any particular place I want to pigeonhole myself. I want to be able to do whatever game I want to play for the stream, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. Even if this kind of makes me the 0451 guy, I'm starting off with Dishonored. I skip this? Yes, I can skip this. Okay, that's good. Oh, Hit Girl. That actually makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna look up High Chaos Mission 9 for Dishonored to see if I can show it off here. Because I don't really, I don't have the save file ready. Okay, yeah, let's show this off. I think this. Oh, this is Dishonored 2. That's not the same. Sure. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, the Hit Girl makes sense.
The island is a bloody mess. Looks like they fought. Maybe over Emily just after they landed. I'll bet the Admiral's got her locked up in the lighthouse somewhere. Pendleton's lost the first round. He's probably dug in someplace. Doing his best to drink himself to death. I suspect it's Martin's got the lighthouse under siege. They turned on each other at last. So the Admiral's power mad, Martin's a snake, and Lord Pendleton is a coward. And you, Corvo, the things you've done, you could be the worst of us. I've seen a lot traveling with you. Now get off my boat. I'd wish you good luck, but I'd be lying. Out, Corvo. I'll let you go this once. I don't like what you've become. No better than these traitors. That's why I'm gonna tell them you're coming.
So yeah, as you can see, the two big differences in this are that Samuel hates you. He can't stand your guts because you're just a murderous bastard in the High Chaos version of the run. And B, this island, although it's the same map, because there's the thunderstorm going on, it looks wholly different in terms of lighting and in terms of tone. Because this is the playthrough where your actions have destabilized the entire nation. You killed so many people that the nation can barely be able to recover from this. Fast forward just a little bit.
I'll feed your heart to the hound.
More.
Someone watch it. How did we lose him?
Yeah, here we go. This is a good place to look at it.
Watch your guard. Get behind.
I'm dying. That bastard's done me in. I should have killed them all when I had the chance.
So here's Pendleton.
Corvo, I knew you would get here. Well, you're too late. I'm already dying without your help. A stray bullet. I'll never know whose. What could I offer you anyway? You want money? Well, I'm broke. Women, maybe? Everyone knows you were screwing the Empress. You like noble women. You should meet my cousin Celia.
As you can see, like, Pendleton has just kind of lost it. He is completely out of it. He's the paranoia and the fear has just kind of gotten to him. He's done. He has no, he's nothing.
You got lucky.
Got a prowler on the loose.
Alright, let's just see.
The island is...
And it's nothing I'll return.
Oh, here's Martin. So let's do him. YouTube searching live on Twitch. Yay! Yeah, there's Martin. Who's also gone mad with the paranoia. Yeah, I remember Bioshock 2. That was a silly little
Here to add me to your list? To write my name across the ground in blood? I'm not gonna plead innocence. When we dug you out of Cold Ridge Prison, we had the best of intentions. We'd find Emily and strike against the Lord Regent. But once we started ordering deaths, blackmailing those in power, and all the other things you're not supposed to do, well, I guess it just became a habit. It's a hard thing, holding the keys to the Empire in your hands. It weighs on a man's mind heavily. Curse Havelock and Pendleton as fools. Curse me as well. I can't stop you from going after Emily, but I'm not going to give you the privilege. I was born into nothing, and it's nothing I'll return to.
Interesting that in both versions of the run, you don't actually have to kill Martin and Pendleton. They just kind of die on their own. But it always ends up being between you and Havelock in the end. I find that's very interesting.
Here to add me to your list? To write my name across the ground in blood? I'm not gonna plead innocence.
Like, you can dirty your hands, but you don't have to. Okay, yeah, here. Here are all the outcomes for Havelock and Emily, and this is where it gets kind of interesting. You find they're at the very top of the island.
No! Let me go!
Quiet! And move already, child!
Let me go! I am the Empress!
Did you learn anything in your short life? Empresses are pieces on the board. An empress can sometimes die. Everything has come to nothing. The plague will take us all. You could have sat on the throne with me behind it. And now Corvo is racing toward us, ready to dash it all to bits.
Corvo's going to kill you!
Ha! Possibly. It'll take us all. You could have sat on the throne with me behind it.
And in the ultimate ending where you are a high chaos killer,
ready to dash it all to bits.
Corvo's going to kill you!
Ha! Possibly.
Emily grows up to
Corvo's
become a
killed
heartless
lot of
bitch.
people, but he's terrible
Like her
at
father.
saving empresses.
You, her father.
He's the worst of us all, you know.
No! He loves me and he is my friend! And I am the Empress!
Ah!
But she can also die in this, and if you don't save her, then she just falls to her death.
All right, jump.
Corvo! Save me!
Quiet!
Corvo? Is that magic? Can I run now?
Oh, I forgot you can just possess him. Yeah, this is a lot like Bioshock 2. There is
Plague will take us all.
I like this thing is a bit more thematically appropriate than Bioshock 2's was, but it's very similar.
Corvo's going to kill you!
Ha! Possibly. Corvo's killed a lot of people, but he's terrible at saving empresses.
The difference between Bioshock, this is Bioshock 2, is that Bioshock 2 has like it is your those sister count plus your actions in those 3 cutscenes, whereas this is literally just your kill count. The only thing that matters is how many people you've killed. It is just your body count. That is the only relevant factor in this entire ending. Everything else is completely irrelevant.
Is that magic? Can I run now?
What's happened?
Firing!
I always knew you would come. You're my hero. The others are all dead, aren't they? That's alright, because I was going to have them killed anyway. I am going to be Empress.
Yeah, so that is how Dishonored 2 can end if you choose the murderous option.
What will history tell us? That the daughter of a murdered empress ascended the throne up a mountain of corpses, carried by an assassin
Yeah,
named
like,
Corvo?
yeah. Now I think you've mentioned it. Yes, Elizabeth is basically just Eleanor
No.
from Bioshock 2, or
They'll
sorry,
say that
Emily
little
is like
Emily
Eleanor from
called
Bioshock 2.
when
They
the
all have,
first
why do they all
came
have
to
fucking
power
E
in an
names?
age
Holy
of
shit!
terror and corruption, and that she did her best in a world that is not kind to
They
little
are
girls or
essentially
empresses.
ciphers that tell you as the player how good or bad you are by emulating you and growing up to be just like you were. This is the ending where if you killed Samuel, you get this instead of him at the bar.
But whether the stories told mention you by name or not, she will remember you were there, Corvo.
I'll remember to credit you, Aaron McKenzie, for using your video. I apologize. And that is the high chaos variant of Dishonored 1. I'll make a note to myself to credit the YouTuber after this video is finished, because we're basically done. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Autistic. And I think I saw Ninjuli come in for a second earlier. I appreciate everyone who watched even a minute of my content. We'll do Magic the Gathering again on Saturday, and I might, since Sunday we're finished with Ultimate Alliance, I might just end up doing more Dishonored. Or I might find something else to do. I'm not entirely sure yet. But next time we do Dishonored, we will start with the Knife of Dunwall, which is the first DLC in Dowd's 2-part storyline. Take care, just all the same, and I hope to see you guys next time. Good night.